Set boundaries like your life depends on it. If you want people to stop walking all over you, the first thing you need to do is decide what is not okay anymore. Boundaries are not rude. Boundaries are not selfish. Boundaries are how people learn where the line is and what happens if they cross it. If you don't draw that line, they'll draw it for you, and trust me, they'll draw it in sand and step all over it. Set the boundary, then back it up with action. If someone keeps ignoring it, they're not confused. They're disrespecting you, and now it's on you to enforce the consequence. Stop explaining yourself to people who don't respect you. You don't owe everyone an explanation. Every time you try to justify your decisions to someone who already doubts you, you hand over your power. You're not on trial. You don't need a defense. People who value you don't need endless reasons to respect your choices. People who don't respect you won't believe your reasons anyway, so save your breath, speak with clarity, not desperation. Let your decisions be complete sentences. No, that doesn't work for me. I've made my choice. Walk like you mean it. You teach people how to treat you by the way you carry yourself. Confidence is not loud, it's steady. It's in your posture, your tone, your presence. You don't need to scream for respect. You need to embody it. Head up, shoulders back, speak slower, make eye contact. People will match the energy you give off. If you walk into a room like you don't belong, don't be surprised when people treat you like you don't. Master the pause. You don't need to react to everything. In fact, the most powerful people in the room are the ones who pause before they speak. When someone disrespects you, your silence is a message. Your pause is power. It shows you're in control. People expect emotional outbursts. They don't expect composure. That pause gives you time to decide what to say and how to say it. It keeps your dignity intact, and it makes the other person think twice the next time. Call out disrespect the first time someone crosses the line and you say nothing. You just taught them how to treat you. Disrespect that goes unchecked becomes the new normal. You don't need to be mean. But you do need to be clear. I didn't appreciate that comment. That's not okay with me. Let's reset that tone. Say it the moment it happens. The earlier you speak up, the easier it is to change the behavior. And guess what? People actually start respecting you more for it. Remove people who keep testing your worth. If someone consistently makes you feel small, confused, anxious, or drained, that's not a mistake. That's who they are. And you don't fix that with kindness. You fix that with distance. Respect is not about begging people to treat you right. It's about choosing not to be around people who don't. You don't need to fight every battle. Some people aren't worth your energy, but they are worth your exit. The strongest move you can make is to walk away. Respect yourself so loudly that no one dares not to. Self-respect isn't a quote on your wall, it's the way you live. It's how you speak about yourself, how you treat your time, how you allow others to access your life. When you show up for yourself, when you back your words with action, when you stop begging and start believing people notice. They might not like it, but they will respect it. Respect starts on the inside. If you want the world to take you seriously, start by taking yourself seriously. Set boundaries like your life depends on it. Let me tell you something most people don't want to hear. If you're constantly being disrespected, it's not just them. It's also you, because boundaries are not suggestions, they're standards, and the moment you stop enforcing them, you start training people. That disrespect is something you'll tolerate. You think being nice is going to earn you love and appreciation, but in reality, it earns you resentment, exhaustion, and people who take advantage of you. Setting boundaries is not about building walls to keep people out. It's about putting up gates to protect what matters. If someone keeps stepping on your values, talking over you, crossing the line, it's not because they don't know better, it's because they're getting away with it and you're letting it slide, thinking that avoiding conflict is keeping the peace, but really, it's creating a war inside of you. You can't keep abandoning yourself and then expect others to value you. That's not how it works. You want respect. Then stop over-explaining yourself to people who already made up their minds about how to treat you. Draw the damn line. And don't apologize for it. Boundaries sound like no. I'm not available then. That doesn't work for me. I'm not okay with that. And most importantly, I'm not going to argue about this anymore. They don't have to come with attitude, but they do have to come with consistency, because the minute you set a boundary and then back down, you just taught them they can push you, and you'll fold. It's not about controlling other people. It's about controlling access to you if you don't protect your peace. Nobody else will stop explaining yourself to people who don't respect you. There comes a point in your life when you have to realize that explaining yourself to people who don't even value you is not strength itself. Betrayal. Every time you feel the need to prove yourself to someone who's already decided you're not enough, you hand over your power on a silver platter, and they're not going to change their opinion because of your explanation. They're going to use your words as ammunition for more judgment. You're not a courtroom defendant. You don't owe everyone a justification. How you live your life, you say no, and then immediately launch into a 5-paragraph essay about why you said no. As if they're entitled to your reasons, you tell someone about your goals or your choices, and when they raise an eyebrow, you start defending your decision like your future is up for debate. That's not confidence, that's fear of rejection. The truth is, people who respect you don't demand explanations. They listen, they support, they trust you to do what's best for you. People who constantly question you, criticize you, doubt your motives, they're not confused. They're controlling. And when you start over-explaining, you're not seeking clarity. You're seeking permission. You don't need permission to be who you are. You don't need a stamp of approval to say no, to set a goal, to make a move that others don't understand. The only person who needs to understand your decision is you. And the more you practice saying things like, because I said so, that's what I've chosen, or just no, the more power you take back, because the people who matter don't need explanations, and the people who demand them don't matter. Walk like you mean it. You want respect. Start by showing up like someone who deserves it. I'm not talking about arrogance. I'm talking about presence. The way you enter a room tells people everything they need to know about you before you even open your mouth. If you walk in slouched, eyes down, nervous energy radiating off you, don't be shocked when people treat you like a dorm. And confidence is silent. It's in how you carry your body, not how loud you talk. When you own your space, when you speak slowly and look people in the eye, the room starts to adjust to you. But if you shrink yourself, apologize for existing, try to take up less space so nobody gets uncomfortable, guess what? You become uncomfortable. The people who command the most respect don't beg for attention. They simply exist like they belong. And everyone else picks up on that. It's not magic. It's psychology. Humans mirror energy. If you act like you don't matter, others will follow suit. So start walking like your name is worth remembering. Stop racing through your words like you're scared to be cut off. Speak like someone who expects to be heard. Stop fidgeting like you're waiting for approval. Hold your body still and own your silence. You don't need to explain your presence. Just be fully present. Respect starts before the conversation even begins. It starts the moment you walk in. And if your body keeps telling the world you're unsure, they're going to treat you like you are master. The pause. You don't need to react to everything. And the moment you understand that, you become dangerous in the best way. There is real power in the pause, and most people overlook it because they're too addicted to reacting. They want to fire back, prove a point, clap back, defend themselves. All of it comes from insecurity, not strength. Strongest person in the room is the one who can pause and still hold their ground, because the pause isn't silence, it's control. When someone disrespects you, your gut wants to respond right away to make it clear they can't talk to you like that, to protect your ego. But when you pause even for 2 seconds, you shift the energy. They're expecting a reaction, and when they don't get it, they get uncomfortable. The pause says, I'm not here to dance with your drama. It gives you time to decide, is this worth my energy, or is this just noise? When you pause, you're not retreating, you're assessing, you're calculating, you're choosing power over impulse, and that pause gives you clarity, the kind of clarity that stops you from saying things you'll regret, or from feeding behavior that doesn't deserve your attention. Most people aren't in control, they're just reacting all day long, emotionally bleeding on everyone who triggers them. But when you master the pause, you stop giving people free access to your emotions. You stop jumping into battles you didn't choose, and suddenly, people start to notice. They realize you're not the kind A person who can be manipulated by pressure or provoked by nonsense. Call out disrespect the first time, the very first time someone disrespects you and you say nothing. You teach them everything they need to know about what you'll tolerate, and guess what? They're watching, they're listening, and they're testing you. It doesn't matter how small the comment was, how harmless the tone sounded, or how awkward it felt if it didn't sit right with you. That's your signal. Disrespect doesn't always show up in big dramatic moments. It creeps in quietly, through subtle digs, eye rolls, dismissive laughs, jokes that aren't funny, and every time you laugh along, stay silent, or try to smooth it over, you're not keeping the peace, you're giving away your dignity, because people will keep doing what works if calling you too sensitive gets you to shut up. They'll keep saying it if mocking your choices gets you to question yourself. They'll keep mocking you, and if talking down to you gets no resistance, they'll keep going and going the moment you call it out. You break the pattern. You don't need to yell. You don't need to insult them. You just need to say something direct like, "That's not okay with me," or "I don't appreciate that tone." You don't need their agreement. You don't need them to like it. You need to state it clearly and let them deal with their discomfort. Disrespect that goes unchecked becomes the new normal, and once it becomes normal, it becomes much harder to undo. You don't wait for the second or third time. First time is the warning, because every time you stay silent, you're signing behavior you actually despise, and you can't complain about being disrespected if you keep letting it slide the moment it happens. Remove people who keep testing your worth. If someone constantly makes you feel confused, anxious, belittled, or unsure of yourself, that's not a relationship. That's a power struggle, and the longer you stay, the more you lose track of who you are. There are people in your life right now who don't want to see you grow. They want to keep you exactly where they can control you. They'll compliment you just enough to keep you hopeful, but criticize you just enough to keep you insecure. They'll push your boundaries over and over, just to see if you'll actually do something about it. And if you don't, they win. You can't negotiate your worth with people who benefit from your doubt. Every time you make excuses for their behavior, you're protecting them and betraying yourself, and you don't owe anyone continued access to you just because you've known them a long time, or because they say, "I didn't mean it like that." Their intentions don't matter more than your experience. Read that again. You don't need a dramatic falling out to walk away. You just need a moment of clarity where you say, "This isn't serving me anymore." People who keep testing your worth already know how valuable you are. They're just hoping you don't, because the second you realize what you bring to the table, you stop begging to sit at theirs. Cutting someone off isn't revenge. It's self-respect, and you don't have to explain your eggs. It just makes it. And don't look back, because the more energy you spend trying to get them to treat you right, the less you have for people who already do respect yourself so loudly that no one dares not to. You keep waiting for people to start treating you better, but the truth is they're just reflecting back. How you treat yourself. Respect is not something you demand, it's something you embody. And when you walk through life apologizing for your presence, minimizing your voice, dimming your light, you are teaching people to ignore you. When you stop standing up for your time, your boundaries, your values, you are telling the world, "I'm not that important." But the second you start respecting yourself, everything shifts. Self-respect is not a mood, it's a decision. It's waking up every day and choosing to show up for yourself, even when it's inconvenient, even when no one's clapping for you. It's saying no to things that drain you, and yes to things that grow you, even if people don't understand. It's no longer settling for crumbs of attention, validation, or half love, because you know you weren't built for scraps. It's dressing like you matter, talking like you matter, acting like your time is valuable, because it is. It's cutting the over-explaining, the people pleasing, the walking on eggshells, and standing tall in who you are without flinching. People can feel it when you respect yourself. It's in your posture, your eyes, your tone, your choices, and the people who don't like it, they were never going to honor you anyway. They were counting on yourself doubt to keep you quiet. But when you respect yourself loudly, when you live it out in your habits, in your relationships, in your decisions, something radical happens. You stop attracting people who treat you like an option. You don't have to beg anyone to treat you better when you've made it clear through your actions that you know your own value, because respect isn't a demand. It's a mirror, And when the reflection is strong, consistent, and undeniable, no one dares not to match it. You will never be respected by the world until you respect yourself first. This isn't about ego. It's not about being loud or aggressive or demanding attention. It's about alignment. It's about setting boundaries like your life depends on it, because it does. It's about understanding that your time, your energy, your peace, your values are not up for negotiation. It's about knowing when to stop explaining yourself, especially to people who have no intention of hearing you. It's about walking like you mean it, because posture is power and presence is everything. It's about mastering the pause, because silence can be more powerful than any comeback. It's about calling out disrespect the moment it shows up, not after it becomes a pattern. It's about removing people who keep testing your worth, because your life is too important to waste proving it. And above all, it's about respecting yourself so completely, so boldly, so consistently that no one even thinks about disrespecting you. You teach people how to treat you by the way you treat yourself. So if you're tired of being overlooked, dismissed, talked down to, walked over, then stop tolerating it from yourself first. The standard you set is the standard that you follow. And when your energy, your presence, your voice, your boundaries all say I matter, the world will have no choice but to rise and meet you there. So do this, and no one will ever disrespect you again.